welcome back to Date with the Divas. If this is your first time with us, welcome. And if you are returning, well, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please click on that subscribe button and don't forget to like our videos. Also, click on that bell so you can get instant notifications of our latest and greatest. Now, grab your beverage of choice, everyone, and let's move on to our hot topics. Alicia?
Yes, ladies, still I got some stuff to talk to you guys about tonight. I hope you guys have ice cold drinks tonight because it's gonna get hot up in here, okay? With these topics.
All right.
All right, let's start off with a little, mildness first. So we all love, well, not all, but most of us love and know who Gabrielle Union is, right?
Oh, yes.
So she is a well-known actress, married to a well-known NBA star, Dwayne Wade. They have a famous family. They have money, you know what I mean? But Gabrielle Union recently sat down on Bloomberg's Idea Generation. That's her beautiful family right there. So she sat down with Bloomberg's Idea Generation. Gabrielle spoke on the subject of the scarcity mindset, right? So can you believe it? Celebrities, people who have made it, quote unquote, having the scarcity mindset. And for those who don't know what the scarcity mindset is, it's basically, constantly thinking about, running out of money all the time. You know what I mean? So, if you've been poor, being back to being poor again, or, lower class, or, if you've ever been homeless and you're constantly thinking about, I don't want to get homeless again. That's what that sort of means. So she sat down with the host, Noah Callaghan Bavar. May pronounce it wrong. Forgive me, Noah. So, he asked her, about when did she develop that first sense of security and knowing that she's an established actress and will continue to get work. And she admitted, I struggle with that, she quotes. She said that she feels more responsibilities for her money. And as a result, she's filled with anxiety about successfully profiting off of the things that she's done and staying in tip-top financial shape, which makes her nervous. She explains that if a movie doesn't open well, she's, constantly, checking with her agents and this and that. And, they have to try to calm her down, basically like, it's coming, wait a second, She says in the face of these feelings of trying to calm down, she's working on herself, basically. And that she says, even though, she's been successful and her husband is successful, they still split the bills 50-50 in her household. Yeah. And she said, in the other households that each of us have to support. So basically, not only does she support her current household, she has her extended family's households that she is responsible for. And so she has what she calls, quote unquote, it puts this gorilla on your back that it's like, you better work, B. You want to sleep in, somebody might not eat, So it's that constant pressure to keep the rest of her family, her extended family, probably like mother, cousins, or siblings, living where they're living,
Was she specific about who the extended family was?
She was not. I'm just saying it's probably those people, you know what I mean? For her. Now we know Dwayne Wade, he got, right, other kids to support for sure. Right. So he definitely needs other households to, make for it. But for her, that's a different sort of situation. And so she's been an actress for quite a couple of decades now. And not only is she an actress, she's an author. She wrote 2 hit biographies. One is called, You Got Anything Stronger, and We're Gonna Need More Wine. And she also wrote a children's book called Welcome to the Party, on the right there, that is available on eBay. And she also has a hair care line for natural women, which, unless you follow her on Instagram, it's not that well known, but yeah, she has her own hair care line called Flawless.
She had a hairline. Okay.
Yeah, by GU.
Okay.
So she has multiple streams of income. You know what I mean? So
apparently she has to.
Right. Right. So what do you ladies think of this? Do you think as a well-established actress, should she still be splitting the bills 50-50 with her husband, or what are your take?
It doesn't matter how well off you are in your finances or your career, how you decide to handle your household finances or how you decide to handle them. I would always do everything 50-50 unless there was some big disparity between them.
There is.
One of the divas here does not agree.
Go ahead, ladies. Keep going. There is a big difference between the two. Who's making more, you think?
Dwayne Wade.
Okay.
Oh,
I think
He's worth $170 million.
Oh,
I think it should be a percentage. I mean, like
Mhm.
you take the percentage of, if you make 100, I make 50, it's 150. What's the
Mhm.
equal percentage of, and that's what you pay on the bills if you're doing that. I mean, and again, it's a personal decision when you're
Mhm.
married on how you guys are going to do it. And that's a decision her and him, I guess, made, that she
Mhm.
was going to do 50-50. I mean, again, that's their relationship and the decision you get with whoever you get with. I mean, some women believe and men should pay for the household. And they shouldn't be paying for anything. So, I mean, again, that regardless of how much money they make, it's the decision you make with your partner.
I totally agree. But also then, that goes into also considering, they could split the bills, quote unquote, 50-50, but he may be carrying other stuff as it relates to, extracurricular activities, because he does have a significant amount of income coming in. He may be like, okay, well, fine, we splitting the bills, and maybe we don't know what their arrangement is, but clearly, as Antrice pointed out, he's making a significant amount more. There may be some sort of like caveat where he's taking care of stuff that she don't have to worry about, so we don't know what it is, but at the end of the day is whatever makes them happy and makes them, good.
Well, maybe, who knows if this is truly making them happy, if she's talking about this is a gorilla on her back,
That
But
part.
the thing is,
I
She
think
don't sound happy. She sounds stressed.
Right.
I think it's the
Yeah.
other household. I think it's that. And I think, unfortunately, if you have grown up poor and you
Right.
haven't dealt with those issues, you do have that scaredness. And even no matter how successful, I can see, I mean, not putting the fear out there, one of my greatest fears is to retire, not have money, and not be able to afford medicine and medication and all that. But it's also based off of how I was raised and seeing my family. We weren't, we didn't grow up with money. So even though I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do financially to be in the right position, it's still in the back of my head that's being scared of, oh my gosh, what if I don't have enough money when I want to retire? And what if I can't afford medical? So it's still dealing with that inner demon of being the child of what you've seen and not wanting to have that lifestyle. And I don't think it matters of how successful you are, because you can lose it in a heartbeat. So I think
As a single, independent girl, I understand what you're saying, Marilyn, because I've always had to take care of myself in my life. And I have those same worries and same fears. But there is no way on God's green earth that I would be married to a multimillionaire who makes the kind of money that Dwayne Wade makes and be splitting the bills 50-50. No how, no way. I just think it's ridiculous that he would even allow that. And his job is to protect and provide. I mean, that I just think it's ludicrous.
But you don't know what she said. I mean, like, she may not wanted him to because she didn't want to feel like, I'm just saying, we don't know if that was her going in trying to be that independent. Oh my gosh, let me just make it clear. Any man who want to get with me, I would love you to take care of everything. Everything. I would be
Not
the
the
great
PSA
wife.
announcement in the middle of this debate.
Well, let me say, any man who wants to be with me, I don't want, it's required. Okay.
Right.
Wait, Miss Nicole, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say it's sometimes a mindset, people who were actually have grown up in poverty. It wouldn't matter how much money I ever had, not that I lived in poverty, but we all know I'm not going to let go of a dollar until I have to. And I just have that mindset. If I won a bazillion dollars in the lottery today, I would still be living and spending exactly like I am, because I'll never outgrow that mindset, never.
But would you pay 50-50 bills if you're married to a man who makes 170 million?
If I have enough, yeah, maybe. But you remember what I said? What I said was, unless there's a disparity.
Right.
That's a disparity, though.
Well,
Like, that's a huge disparity.
A huge disparity. He should be taking care of her mama.
You said, what is her worth?
Grandmama, her cousins,
What is her worth?
Her
No,
neighbor.
he shouldn't be taking no cousin. He should be taking care of her
He
parent,
should
her
take
mom.
care of everybody, okay?
I ain't taking care of
Michelle,
because that's how
Michelle,
she
what
get
we gotta
bored.
say-
That's what we do, okay? We Black. We take care.
Michelle, what we
But
can
that's how
say.
we get in trouble.
I am just
Right.
I
Marnita.
myself, you know, I am very self-sufficient. I have I take pride in contributing to to my family unit. And honestly, there is a disparity between me and my partner. And I don't, and it doesn't favor me. So I appreciate, it may not be 50-50, but I appreciate the contribution. And I think Joe, you said it, you know, like maybe they, you know, you get designated a particular bill or whatever, or if your spouse wanted to, well, he has other obligations, right? So he may be worth $170 million, but on paper, but if he's paying, you know,
Child support. to
spousal
18
support,
mothers.
child support, and all this other stuff, it may not be as big of a difference
I think he
in
has
the
full
long run.
custody of his child.
Well,
He's got a couple of children.
well, see, but
He
again,
ain't giving away tens of millions of dollars to anybody.
But he doesn't have custody of the younger ones that he had outside before they got married. So.
But he can afford to pay child
Who
support.
put that little baby in the picture? I'm sorry.
That was
little
probably
bit.
Tavia.
Is that
Hold on.
was
let me
that an
bring-
old picture?
Yeah, that's an
She's
old
older
picture.
now.
Okay.
So this is
Okay, because I was gonna
Tavia.
say, okay, I
Girl.
was like, because did she have a new? I was like, there's another baby.
No,
Okay,
this is
that's
the
just
only
an older
picture I could
picture.
find of all of them. I
Mm.
was like, oh, this is old. He's not even playing anymore.
Okay, got it.
He
I was
can afford to take care of his kids. Come on, you guys.
right. I
Right.
think for me, the other question is that you think about it like because of the income disparity, what does their house look like? And I mean, if she's paying 50-50 on my income, could I actually afford that? And that may be stretching it where I'd be like, you need to pay more because we living in hypothetically this 20-room mansion where I could only
Right.
afford 10 room and I need you to, you know, because
Yeah,
of
right.
you having so much more, like I'm not paying 50-50. I mean, that's really stretching me further than what I would normally comfortably do. So,
But maybe it's
Yeah.
50-50 proportionally.
right.
Well, she
And
said
she-
50-50.
No, she said 50-50. Yeah, I saw that too.
50-50.
No proportions. It
But
was-
then again, she didn't get into it, you know,
Stupid.
she didn't get into true specifics. So what does 50-50 mean?
I mean, we have to take her at her word that when she
Mhm.
says we split the bills 50-50, that she means 50-50. I mean,
So if it's $100, she paying 50 of it, or you know.
to me,
Right.
that makes you a roommate.
Ooh.
We 50-50. We're
Yeah.
roommates.
Now let me ask you guys this question, because I definitely agree with the whole, you know, if you're making more money than me, you need to be paying at least a percentage more, like, you know, 70-40 or something, you know, you paying for all the vacation trips, something, you know, but after you've made, you know, some money for quite a few years or whatever, should she still feel responsible for her other extended family members? Like sometimes
You
when
know
you feel like you have to carry everybody who you grew up
It
with.
depends on who they are. Like I can see
Right.
parents if y'all they
Grandparents,
took care of you.
big mama.
Yeah. You know, people who can't work, but like
But sometimes
If-
you
if
can't be
y'all
taking
able
on
to work,
Pookie and them.
No,
if
you can't
Pookie
take
and
it.
them able, I'm gonna get a resume
Get
to the
them a
right person.
job. Yeah, they're gonna get a job. Pookie and us gonna be working for
They're
that
gonna
money,
be a
but, you know,
tax write-off.
Right, because not everybody deserves it for long term, unless they, like you
No.
said, mom or grandma or somebody who's like fully deserved to help you growing
Not
up. as a
Pookie in
person.
there.
Yeah,
Right.
Not Pookie and them.
not Pookie, Boo, and all the other names.
Yeah.
But you know, that's just like Marnita said, that's the person, you know, because some are not strong enough to be like, you know, yeah, we knew each other since, you know, the year of the flood, but I can't keep holding you. I can't keep floating you or whatever.
Yeah, I need you to start a business. Like, you know, you need to do something to get yourself, you know. Yeah, I'll put you on the plane when we're going to celebrate in Australia or Africa and all that kind of stuff. But I need you you need to do something. You need to be working. You can't ride my coattails.
Because I think if Kevin Hart had mentioned this with his entourage, you know, like he was like, I will kind of push you in there, but you got to do what you got to do. And if you're going to be hanging with us and all this stuff, that's on you to hang in, because he's not going to be paying all of this.
I'm not gonna foot the bill for this whole trip. It ain't all expenses paid.
Right. And I guess you got to understand that.
So true.
Was there any controversy on I mean, I know you're asking the question, but was there any like comments or feedback what people were saying when they heard that, or what, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe.
Oh yeah.
A lot
with
of
the
pushback.
Yeah.
You know, some people think the man should pay, and some people think, you know, woman should pull her own weight.
Yeah, because I was getting ready to ask too, you know, how I play my old devil's advocate. So, you know how some brothers would be like, see, this is an example of a woman being too independent. She won't let the man do anything, you know. She's
He can
stressing
do
out and
all
she ain't
that.
got to.
In that case, I don't need to be independent. It's a lot.
Me either. That was like, oh, I don't need to be independent. Pay for it, please. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that 50% I would have paid
Right.
and put it on a little savings account for a
Or
rainy
be
day.
like, you know what? I got our vacations. We're gonna be fly on our you know, all the stuff, or you know, the furniture, all that kind of stuff is gonna be top notch. You know, we taking my money towards that. If you got all the bills, I can make sure all the other extravagant, you know, non stuff.
So divas, let me ask you guys, if you met a man that made 3 times the money you make, whatever that is to you right now, but he makes 3 times, and he told you, when we get married, I expect you to pay 50% of the bills and all the expenses, how would that be okay for you?
No.
I'd be like, okay, so this is where we can live.
All
This
right.
little apartment. now you still okay with that?
I
Like,
would,
don't
I
be
would be
trying to
like,
have
I
me
would,
pay for, like you said, the mansion.
right. I would be like, sure, we can do that after we put our money in the same bank account. Then we can split that up.
My 50% is going to take it out each month.
Right. I take it out this week, you take that week, but it's all gonna be the same pool of money. Okay, how about that?
You see, men that are watching this video, y'all better ask the right questions, because we women
Yes, you need to know that up front. Ask those questions, because not. I
ask
mean,
those questions, y'all.
I mean, I'm not
When
opposed.
you're dating a man, like, is he expecting you to go Dutch when you guys go out, when you go on vacation? Do you have to, like, you can tell where this is going?
Oh yeah.
Right, of course.
He's dropping hints. He's dropping those hints from the very first date.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which brings, okay, I mean, I hate to extract it on, but would you guys ever pay for a date? Like,
Hell
it's like
to
the second or third.
no, to the no.
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 Sing it.
I have.
No.
I mean,
Not
I
the
went,
first few dates, but I would after some point, because I never wanted to feel like I'm taking advantage of him taking me out. Like, but like in the beginning, I'm like, I'm expecting him to pay, but you know, then I'll be like, hey, let me pay for, you know, this, or do something, or pick up the tip or something. Because I mean, I know it could be expensive for men to date. I mean, you know, as I said, we
Especially
have to go on a few
nowadays.
dates. But not on the first date. Well, granted, let me just say, typically my first date, I want to go to Starbucks. So I need to know if I need to invest too much time in it. I don't need a free meal because I can pay for my own.
Right.
So
I'll
I'm going
meet
to
you
give you about
there.
I'll meet you there.
You don't
See
even
if
know
you
where
get
I
the
live.
vibe. We'll see where it goes. And then after that, I'll be like, okay, we can go on a real date, like where I can actually sit across the table with you.
Like this, or do you think that we're, and maybe this is a whole different subject, but are we just making it too easy? Like,
Too easy for what?
Make you what to be.
say that again. I'm sorry.
What do you mean, Joe?
Yeah, we don't understand your question.
Like, is there
Right,
no
asking for
change?
50-50,
Is there
make it
no
no
change? Is
responsibility.
there no showing that this person, meaning you, the woman, is something I want? I'm going after.
You're the prize.
Like, are we making it too easy? This is what I'm saying. Like,
Oh, you saying
By
like
saying
I don't know how to explain it.
we
Like,
should
you
expect
saying-
them to pay and
By meeting the guy halfway,
pursue us.
saying is that making it easy for him, as opposed to him
By
shaking.
being too
you know what?
independent.
In some cases it is. In some
It
cases
is.
it is.
and
Right.
this is, and okay, so then there's the next part is when you make it this easy, when it's in the relationship, you can't change the rules now.
Right.
So
Most
you get what
definitely.
you get.
Right.
That's
So
why I ain't got nothing right now. 'Cause I get what I got. I didn't like it. It's
I ain't
gone.
got nothing. I'm gonna start with nothing. we gonna live together with your something.
Next time
I think
he gonna buy the Starbucks.
I think it really depends because I guess I mean, again, I think it's you as a person. Like for me on the first date, I'm just not one of those people to waste time in general. And I'm talking dating from the standpoint of somebody I might have met online, not necessarily, but I met in person where you already have that vibe. My first date with you, I don't want to invest 2-3 hours at dinner because, hey, do you look like your picture? Because I don't want to be boo boo the food. And then like, what is your presence? Like, did what you're typing and texting, is that really you? And like, do we have this vibe? And that's where I'm like that coffee initial date. Hey, if it works out, you can sit there for 2 or 3 hours and have a conversation and move on. So I'm talking more of that perspective.
Marilyn, he pays for the coffee, correct?
Yeah. Problem with that. Yeah, it is. But that's what I'm saying. I'm just not like, I don't want to waste my personal time for a 3-hour meal for somebody who I don't see there anymore. I get in there, I'm just not feeling it.
Okay.
I mean, like
Let's
I
say
said,
you make it past that first round.
Michelle, what you gonna say?
No, I just have a question for the panel here. So if
We
you
off topic, boy.
if you expect, and rightfully so, because I do too, the man to pay for the date, right? Do you then just, when the check comes, do you just stare at it, or do you offer your credit card and see if he's gonna say no?
No,
You move in slow motion.
here's the thing. The other thing is, did he ask?
No.
don't even reach for it, lady.
No. And if he asks me, I'm not reaching for nothing. If he don't pick it up, then I got issues.
I had a guy ask me once, like, how much do you want to put on this? I was like, nothing. And it was somebody I knew too. It was somebody who was trying to, like, we had dated before, and he was like, oh, I want to date you again. And so I was like, okay, pick me up, take me to this restaurant. The check came. He was like, how much you want to put on it? I was like, nothing.
Oh
Ask
my
me out.
goodness. What was his response when you said nothing? What was his response,
He pulled out his credit card.
Okay.
We didn't go out again, but he pulled out his credit card.
I'm gonna go to that. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I even have a friend that has, invited me out, and he pulls out his credit card, and it's not even a date thing, but he was like, I invited you out. And I'm saying he initiated it. And even though it wasn't from a dating perspective, he always has paid. And I was like, but yeah, I mean, if he's asking me, I'm not sitting there pulling my wallet out for nothing.
I had
someone, it's clearly a date.
Someone was paying, but they asked me to pay for the tip.
Oh, okay, that's
I was like,
Ms. Nicole, you were saying?
Whoever does the asking, I think, should pay. If I wanted to go someplace that was purely on me and I asked somebody to go with me, I would expect to pick that up.
And I've actually asked somebody out and he actually paid. He was like, no, there's no way I would allow you to. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. I mean, I did ask you, and it was more me wanting to do something, but he paid for it. I mean, I was like, thank you.
But sometimes guys be like, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? They ask you where you want to do and what you want to do. So if it's my suggestion, but you still
but you asked me out. You said you want to take me out.
Right.
And out costs money.
Unless we're going to the park playing board games.
Right.
And
you should have thought of that yourself. You should have brought it, and you still got to bring a picnic. You still got to bring a bottle of wine and some salami and cheese or something.
That part. So fellas, take notes. We gave you all the hits that we could possibly give you guys. All right. Take the notes and then hit us up in our DMs if you're cute enough to meet the bar. Don't
be assuming nothing. You better be straight ass. Don't assume.
Right.
Y'all dudes, ask the right questions, y'all.
Right. And our ladies, let us know too, would you pay for a date as well if it's date number 3 or 4? You know what I mean? I'm not saying, first or second date, but like if it's starting to build a rapport, would you pay for it?
Not even. Are you gonna pay for the first date?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, when you get in okay, I just have one more question, but when you get into a relationship,
ladies.
Go ahead.
Okay,
I was just curious, when you get into a relationship, like you're now in a relationship, are you open to paying, or are you expecting him to continue paying in this relationship too?
I'm open to paying in the relationship.
Oh, in my relationship,
I'm waiting for Marnita's answer.
I'm waiting on Trace's answer.
Me too. That's what I was like.
Almost 2 years, my boyfriend and I've paid twice. Once was his birthday. It was a year before he allowed me, and it was just because it was his birthday. And then there was a place I really wanted to go to. He didn't really like the cuisine. And for me to get him to do it, I said, listen, it's going to be on me. And so that was the second time. But he pays for everything. And he's never asked me how much money I make. So we don't know what our income disparity is. But he's an alpha male. And so he wants to do that.
That's
Oh,
an
okay.
question, Andres, and not to get personal, but has it always been like that with all your dating, or is this?
I've never paid for it. Even when I dated a guy who made less than me, I let him know, like, if you want this to be a romantic situation, you have to be the
Be
man.
creative.
Yeah. Because he wanted to make that argument like 8 or 9 dates in, like, hey, you make more money than me. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? You want to date, and you wanted to date me, knowing that I made more money than you. So we're not changing the rules now. If you want, me to stay.
Mhm. I need to
And she
become an
made the
Andres.
rules. It was
Andres,
Me
you gonna start
too.
doing some
Y'all
coaching
ain't
classes?
Okay.
Coaching classes.
The master class, the Antrese
The
master
master
class. I'm
I
I
signing
hear
up.
you, little side hustle. We signing up.
Makes
Go
them
ahead,
feel
Miss
good
Nicole. What'd you
to
say, Miss
provide
Nicole?
and protect.
I said, no, thank you to the class. I'd rather be a decent human being. I'm not
That's
asking-
fine. And that's gonna make you not a decent
Oh.
human being.
That's right. Whoa, yours.
Say that.
Andres, take a sip.
Boyfriend thinks
So
I'm a
then-
decent human being.
You know who to avoid and who to come hit up.
Well, no, you know what, Andres, technically you have a long-lasting relationship and it has not been an issue for you. So, I mean,
No, like I said, I think a man wants to feel like a man. You can't
And
be
if they
the
don't,
man.
there's something
You
wrong.
can be the man in some areas, but we're equal in other areas. You know what I mean? Like you got to pick a lane and ride in it. So if you want to play that man, that alpha role with me, then keep that energy.
Right.
I do agree with
Like a man to do that. I that's been my experience. Men like to take that role in your life and take care of you.
Go, Michelle.
no, I agree with Antrese. My father, who raised me to be an independent, strong female, sat me down once and said, okay, I know you are the pants in the relationship, but try not to be so obvious about it because because you don't want to emasculate the guy, right? So even though you do make more money, he's it
Allow
men
him to be a
have a
man.
lot, men have really sensitive egos, I think.
They do.
And so I had to kind of dial it down a bit with my independent streak. But I agree with you.
Michelle, I think when you are paying half of the bills, then you're not really going to let him take on that role in your life. Because, it's going to be like, hey, I'm paying my own way. I'll do what I want to do. I'll say what I want to say. It's hard to respect a man in the way that men want to be respected when they're expecting you to take on half the burden.
Yeah, but for me, a relationship is 50-50.
Yes, it is.
Financially and everything else.
Yeah.
And so for my relationship to work, I need him to be 50-50 my partner, not and I'm not saying that he's then becomes my roommate, because no, he's not my roommate. He's my partner in this life. And there are times where he will pay for everything because it was something that he wanted, but we both know that we're both contributing to the extent that we can in the relationship. It's not like a demand, like, hey, you didn't pay 50% of the water bill, so you don't get to take a shower this week or whatever. It isn't that,
Stringent.
harsh or draconian. It's just, I expect to be still treated like a princess, but we have equality throughout, whether and that includes financially too.
I mean, to Nicole's point about being a decent human being, as women, we are always going to go above and beyond to take care of our man. And you are always going to be spending this and that to make him comfortable, doing this and that to make him comfortable. That's our nature.
Right.
So I think that comes with having a woman in your life, is she's going to treat you very well and she's going to make sure that you're happy.
Yep, I agree. So let us know what you guys think as well in the comments below. But that's a very good point, Andres, that a woman knows how to make you happy. Because guess who loves to have a woman make her happy? Janelle Monae, okay?
I was like, are you trying to tell us something?
Great segue.
Good, yeah. I was like, what's really good? What's really good? Like, what we doing?
Oh my God.
And that's exactly what I
I
was
did
thinking.
pause for a long time,
She-
didn't I? Okay.
I was like, oh, okay, girl.
I was like, oh,
We okay? We're like, I'm for it. Whatever makes you
I was like, what?
happy. I just wasn't aware.
Because you even like raised your hand, and I was like, oh, we're okay,
Like,
where we going?
That was good. I'll give you props on that one.
Yes, yes. So, according to Janelle Monae, it is the age of pleasure. That's my pleasure dance. And right.
Come on, Divas.
just
Age
stop.
of pleasure.
Age of
We
pleasure.
moved from the voices to the dances.
Right.
Let's just
And so she has the album is coming out, and she has a single called Lipstick Lover.
Lipstick lover.
And look at the blurs that are needed. So
See, I told you I had to blur some stuff. These are some images from her video. Do you want me to go through? Because I got like 7 of them from the video.
okay, yes, so
Let's-
it's called
let's
Lipstick
just-
Lover,
let's flow it.
and this is called a Not Safe for Work music video that she did, and she did a couple of stuff on Instagram as well. As you know, these are some of the images in case you were behind a rock last week. So there's that image.
As I was.
I think I was too then.
Or
now
maybe
that
we was
I-
behind them booties.
This reminds me of Madonna era, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
Okay.
racy. She's like being bold and free, basically. Even at one point, she has her top all the way off and just letting it all hang out.
This is Tessa Thompson, who's been in a couple of her
I didn't realize that was
videos.
Tessa. Okay, I didn't.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Tessa Thompson, an actress.
Oh, okay.
From Thor and from
Yes.
Mhm.
Creed. From Creed.
Yeah. And so like I said,
Is
it's
she
called,
doing what I think she's doing there?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, just checking. 'Cause I was like, wait, I had to.
right. And just in case, the audience is like a little lost. I have some of the lyrics to Lipstick Lover. Let's see this. One of the verses it says, I like lipstick on my neck. It let me know I'm your number one select. I like lipstick on my neck. Hands around my waist so you know what's coming next. I want to feel your lips on mine. I just want to feel a little tongue. We don't have a long time. So that lets you know what kind of song that is.
Spoken word.
Right.
Well, this isn't new. She's always been, I mean, from what I understand, she claimed herself asexual, not sexual. She kind of anybody, right? Yes, correct. So, I mean, I'm not surprised by this.
Right. And she co-directed it and everything like that. So she was definitely in charge of it. And she recently did an interview with Zane Lowe on Apple Music One when she dropped the video, whichever. And she said that, she don't understand why she didn't write this song years ago. She was like, because if you know me today, I don't have on red lipstick, but I'm always in red lipstick. And there's always been so many instances, this is her quote, where I've made out with somebody at a party and it's dark, nobody notices, then lights come on, there's lipstick all over me.
Okay.
To paraphrase. She said she's super excited about this project and that she's had an age of depression. She's had, the age of anxiety, an age of struggle. And she says, again, it's not like life is pleasurable every single day, but I think I have actively just thought out, how do I create a space for myself? How do I redirect my mind on how I'm thinking about things? And, taking pleasure in the moment and being present, basically. Now
Here's some pictures of her, the way she used to
look, right. So some people were 50-50 split on this because like Marnita was showing, even though her lyrics and songs were very out there, she dressed differently. She dressed homage. Basically, she that she was
Androgynous.
yes, androgynous, and making a tribute to the working class people. That's why she always used to wear uniforms, because her parents was like one was like a teacher and one was a janitor, I feel like, something like that.
I think her
so they always
father
wear
was a
uniform.
janitor.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. And so what is that past? Show the photos again, to where it was like, black
Oh,
and
hold
white.
on, let me
Basically,
get-
she wore a lot of
let me
black
go
and
back
white,
to that.
basically.
Right.
You were only black and white, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she said that was her uniform. So
Right.
here we go. Here we are. So she would do different types of tuxedos.
And see how it would be very kind of classy and cute and very fashion forward with just the colors, right? So to go from that to
this here.
Right, right.
But that's in the video. Do we have a picture of like what she's, is
Yeah,
it
what
just,
is
I
she
mean,
looking like on the red carpet?
right, that's what I'm thinking. This is
I
for the
mean, y'all saw her
video.
at the Met Gala where she literally just had on a bathing suit, right? So that's different, right?
Oh, I didn't see
And-
that one. Sorry, I was under a
Right.
rock.
Oh, okay.
Got her there.
And then with
Yes,
the
this is her
fan-
in the pleasure shirt surrounded by the
Okay.
ladies.
Right. And then to top it off, so the next day after she released this, just because you know you need more evidence that she's definitely gotten racy. So the next day she set the internet ablaze when she threw an event where she was on stage performing. She had on a half shirt, no bra, and she flashed the audience. They have a video of it. It's
What?
going around town. Okay.
Yeah.
As you see right
It was
there.
real quick. Like it was hard for me to get the screenshot.
And she like, you know,
She's
wee
on a-
free willy with it, you know.
She's on a
So-
180.
Huh?
She's a 180.
right. That's what I
It's
said. But
not a
some
180. This is what she was
Mm-hmm.
always. The beginning was what her either the record company management this is
Exactly what
they
her people
wanted
told her.
Probably
do
her
when
trying
she
to
was there.
hide herself.
And now she's like, this is me right here. And this is, I believe, a lot of performers. They start out with what the cookie cutter of what
Mhm.
management or whatever wants, and then they come out and this is what's them.
I mean, think about Beyonce, like in the beginning with Destiny Child and where she is now, the evolution. You think about Christina Allegra, whatever, I can't say her name, and Britney Spears. You know, they were that.
Aguilera.
But yeah,
Mhm.
I know. Sorry, but you know, they were that nice Disney girl, and then all of a sudden they came out. And you're like, what the hell? I mean, that's what people were. They made their
Some
money,
of
They
them
made their
started,
started
mark.
that's the
Mark.
difference.
With
They
the-
started out young, but she started as a grown woman. She could have done that like again.
Wait, so
No, but you have to get you have to get on the map.
Yeah,
All those years of her being androgynous in the tuxedo, that wasn't really her. That was
I'm
somebody.
not saying that wasn't her. I'm saying what she wanted to fully come out with was always this right here that we seeing today. She just not.
I think that's always
she's
been a
not
part of
come
her,
out
but
with
she needed
full-
to
Yeah.
get on the map first in order for people to feel comfortable with her. And then therefore, whatever happens. They love them. You know, you have your fan base at that point.
isn't that what happened with like Whitney
this is
Houston
just
too? I mean, when
today.
they had her do, you know, how they had her brought her out in that one way, and she
Right.
really wanted to, and she had to follow that, and then she finally was like, "F you," and let me.
I think that,
Like
like Joe
Janet
said, is
Jackson was doing the same thing. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
said that's how most people do in the industry. They become the cookie cutter first just to get on the map. And then after
Right.
that,
Yeah, but I think a point Alicia is making, and maybe she's making the point other people are making, I don't know, is that this has been a long time. Like the people you guys are talking about, it was when they first came into the industry,
Right.
and then they, within a year or two or three, transitioned into who they wanted to be. And these were young performers, so you kind of understood it. But Janelle Monae, I think of as a grown ass woman, and this is
Right.
like over a decade that she's played this persona that we have her really solidly identified as.
that we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, we can only
Okay,
go by
yeah.
what we've seen.
But I think whatever your age is, if the record company does not want to put out that image of, especially with her coming out saying, I like lipstick on my neck, and you know, they probably weren't ready to put that out. So that's probably what her compromise was the tuxedos and all of that. So, you know, that could have been it. And she did have a song a couple years ago called Pink with Tessa Thompson was also in that video. And it was kind of
weren't they rumored to be dating
suggestive.
at one point?
There was rumors. I don't know if they were, or, you know, there were rumors around then that they were dating. So, you know, maybe it's just, maybe she wasn't able to be fully who she was. And now that she's like, I can do this for whatever reason, we're just really surprised because
Right. Because I was gonna say, do you think
it
she's gone
is
too
totally
far though?
different.
Like, I mean, at one point, part of the video, I mean, yes, it's great to embrace everybody's body, but she had like an older matriarch. I'm not sure if it's her mom or not, but like an older matriarch.
I don't
woman.
think this is her mom.
Okay.
So this is another still from the video, but like you said, Alicia, because you asked me to get the pictures, she posted this on Mother's Day with this quote here on her Instagram.
Yeah, it says, being in these moments was deeply healing, deeply personal. Each time I feel more ancestral healing happening, and I hope you do too. It brings tears to my eyes, tears of joy. And it says, to our elders, to our mothers, to the matriarchs, thank you for affirming us and making us feel seen, loved, and safe. We love you. Happy Mother's Day. This S is cold as F. disrespectfully, you know. Do you
I
think
mean,
she's going
she
too
was
far?
promoting her video.
Right. Do you think she's going too far, ladies?
No.
According to who?
You're right. Exactly. Exactly. Because she's doing her. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Thank you.
To each his
Ain't
own.
nothing the
I
man
guess.
ain't like doing and showing.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
I don't feel like she's going too far. I agree with the other divas. I just find something in it inauthentic. And
Mm.
I relate to artists who I feel are being true to who they are, and then kind of vibe off of their vibe, because you know it connects with you in some level. So to follow someone for all this time and then have them change that dramatically, I've never been a big fan of hers, but I would think her fans might be having a hard time with it. No?
I mean,
Yeah.
I watched the video and I felt like it was more authentic herself. Like, and I don't know her, so I don't know. This is just me like thinking
Had a
like,
friend in your
oh,
head.
she wanted to be this the whole
Marnita,
time.
does that mean that what she was doing all this time wasn't authentic?
Probably not.
that's
You know, a lot of artists aren't authentic. Look at Pink when she came out. She was hip hop and this
They're
and that.
talking
And
about
she didn't,
people who made their transition early in their career.
right. And I understand that, but like maybe she has been making this Janelle Monae has not been forward as an artist really in this whole time. She's been acting, you know, so maybe she has been making this transition in her life and she's more comfortable to come out with it in her career. And it does just seem like it's out of nowhere because we haven't seen it.
Right. Because it could have been that. Because again, for me, I'm like you, Antrice. I'm not a fan, like deep down fan. You know, I think she's a great actress and singer and what have you, but I don't know her like, you know, in terms of a fan base like that. But if I was that deep of a fan, maybe that was seen, these little patches like on her Instagram or what have you, and we just don't know because we're not deep in there like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of giving it to her.
And
like
I get what you're saying, Joe. I feel like for me, like I'm not like an avid fan of hers, but I do admire her as a person and some of her work. But at the same token, to me, it's not a surprise to me. I'm not shocked. I'm not taken aback, nor am I offended. I'm just like, oh,
Do
power to
you?
do you,
Right.
you know? So to me, I'm not like appalled by it. Am I shocked? Not in the least. Not in the least. I'm not shocked by it. So
And
to me,
Antrice,
okay, good for you.
Antrice, I have never read one autobiography by any artist who came in with their own power, who could do what they wanted. You get in.
I'm not saying that. I didn't say that.
yeah, you're
No,
just saying the
right.
transition just seemed like
I'm
night
saying the
and day.
transition is decades later. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, it was shocking to me because I was
She clearly said she should have done this in the beginning. Why didn't she
I
do
didn't
this?
say anything. I don't care what she does, Nicole. I was just saying the other artists that were being brought up made their transition from what the record company wanted to what they wanted earlier in their careers. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Well, again, I haven't ever seen it early. Phyllis Hyman never, ever got to put out what she wanted to put out, image or music. There's so many.
Christina Aguilera did. Pink did. The people who were brought up did.
I'm not saying there's no one that did, but I'm saying I don't think it's as early as you think it is.
It's as early as I think it is for the people that were mentioned. Yes, it was.
right.
How many years was Pink something else?
Pink on her first album, she did what the record company wanted, which was cookie cutter, what Britney was doing, what Christina Aguilera were doing.
And how many? I don't care.
You asked the question, so let me finish.
Answer the question. Then I didn't ask what she
In
did.
the
I said,
second
how
album,
long
she
was
did
it?
more of what she
I said,
wanted
how long
to
was
do.
How long was it?
Again,
Okay,
again, we
Nicole.
would not know the exact dates, Ms. Nicole. We would not know exact dates.
I understand we don't know the exact date, but she's saying it's very early. So what is
Her
very
second
Again,
album.
we wouldn't know
I'm a fan
exactly.
of
It's
Pink.
very early. It's very
I have
early. We wouldn't know
first
exactly.
album, I still listen to it. I'm a fan of Pink, so I know that it was early.
Yeah. And I
And
was
how
I was talking about
absolutely
something. I'm a Janelle Monae fan a little bit as well. Maybe because for the when she first came out, I love the whole, you know, it was like almost, you know, sci-fi and, you know,
Yeah,
out
I
of
was like the
space sort of
computer.
stuff, you know. So that's what I kind of, you know, resonated with a little bit. And then now, I mean, you know, we do evolve as we get older. Let's be honest. You know, once you get past your certain age, past 30, you don't give an F. Okay. So I can appreciate that part. So I can see that part being authentic, like Marnita said, like, you know what, she's probably at the point like F this. Okay, I have solidified my career now. I have made my name known. Like, listen, this is me. Okay, you know, so.
So you guys don't think there's not maybe a part of her that's doing it for the attention, like to widen her audience a little bit?
I mean, she could be. I mean, I think everybody, if you're going to try to be successful, you got to try to widen your audience a little bit. But
I think the flashing was definitely for some attention. Like, I mean, okay, you had the video. Do you need to continue to walk down the street naked all the time? Like, you know, like,
I mean, she looks good, so.
He does. Listen, he does. But
Look,
I
if
mean,
I
she
had
probably
that
just in the
body,
moment with
hold
the
up.
flashing. It didn't seem like planned or anything, you know.
And you said
maybe
it was very quick, so it wasn't like she was like, "Hey." Okay. It
right,
was like,
exactly.
But
Yeah,
I get like what Lava was saying and Antrice would be saying, you know, I could see it to be, could be a point in her time when she's just like, you know, I'm gonna do me.
and some people don't come into their own until they're older. Like, just to, you know, some people are more comfortable doing it in their 20s and 30s, like the Britneys and Pinks and stuff like that. I believe they were in those ages when they started changing, and they wanted to break free from, at least the Disney kids. They want to break free from that Disney image. So they go totally the other way. But some people, for different reasons, maybe it's because of their family expectations or whatever, they're not comfortable showing them their true selves until they're older. So that could be the case, but, or, you know, it could be for ratings. We'll see what her next album is gonna be like.
right. And she is 37, so she looks great for 37, girl. Yeah. So you guys let us know what you guys think down in the comments. Would you ever flash somebody? If you know, are you a performer? Would you do that? You know,
Lava, you about to flash us right
shocker.
now? What you doing?
You getting ready? Okay.
All right.
Drum roll.
Right. We might have a Divas After Dark, you know. So.
Yes.
It's not that kind of party.
Unless you pay for it.
That's for the fans. That's for the OnlyFans or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. Our OnlyFans page.
Got my toes done
Next topic.
yeah, I got my toes done. You hope you like orange.
Drop a comment down and let us know. So how many of us are into Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Yeah, I was catching up. I was
okay,
ready.
okay.
I'm ready. I think I
Right.
know what you're gonna talk about too.
Okay.
Right. So, there was definitely some arguments. They came out with a bang. This is like episode 2. So they definitely making sure they bring that drama. I know this is like a few people's favorites. So I'll pass the baton a little bit to Antrice. What was your favorite moment from this that you want to talk about?
I felt the conversation between Sheree and Kenya at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And can you refresh people for that may have not know what?
So Sheree Whitfield has seen fit to bring on this dude Martell from Love and
I knew y'all were gonna talk about that.
Huntsville. Mm-hmm.
Love and Marriage Huntsville, which I do not watch, so I can't give any opinions about Martell. Although I heard he's a low
Yeah,
down.
I've watched it, so I'll be the expert on that part. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's chocolate though, sexy, yummy.
Yes,
Girl, he has
He dresses nice.
He has 5 kids.
But
Okay.
we can see
Nice.
why she's
Candy.
and having some fun, but she brought him on as a boyfriend. The women were not feeling it. It seemed they thought it was, it was a little suspect. And Kenya went out of her way to let Sheree and the whole group and the audience know that Martell had DM'd her 6 months prior and that she never responded. So she brought this up at a party. And Sheree wasn't having it, and she brought Martell into the conversation. And Martell seems to be a show pony because he was ready for the fight with Kenya, and the two of them went back and forth. He got into it with her like he was a housewife, like an OG housewife. And he pointed out that, girl, that thing was 2 years ago. It was not 6 months ago. And he showed what the DM was, which was just, thank you for the kind words. I guess she said something nice about him on a show, and he DM'd her, thank you for the kind words. She never responded. So the conversation got dicey. Yeah. I felt
Kenya was trying to start something.
I felt the energy was matching energy for me. I don't know what you guys felt about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, and I will say too that Kenya did say that it was 2 messages, and he deleted one of them because she showed her portion of the messages, but it was deleted on her end because she had to accept it basically. And the message that he showed was just one of the 2, and it was the lesser, the more general one.
Mm-hmm.
And so during this argument, like Andrea said, there's matching energy, but Martel called himself sane, because he's trying to, defend it. First he denied it. Then he's like, well, I bet you, because she was like, oh, I didn't accept the request. That's why I can't show it right now. He's like, well, I bet you accept everybody's DM request, basically implying,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
she'll do anything, and she'll take anybody's stuff. And so she was definitely highly offended by that. And so she started, yelling back at him. And then he started yelling at her. And I think after he said that, then she said that, she called him out basically, you're a liar and a cheater, and you always will be, basically.
Yeah.
And
But she watches the show apparently.
yeah. Yeah.
So for anybody who
Sheree's
doesn't
just
know,
watching this go down, like, oh, let's go,
Martel is infamous for having cheated on his wife on
Yes.
Love and Marriage Huntsville and having a baby outside the marriage. So
Yeah.
When you watch the show,
here's
or
his
not,
ex-wife.
Yeah, that's his ex-wife and his 4 kids.
Family.
He does have another kid now by the mistress. So
That he's sharing his 50% and
That's why he's trying to make some housewives money.
right.
Right.
And here's also the kicker too. During this scene, as well, one of the other housewives, Manietta, was like, he's also dating somebody else in Atlanta. Of course he's denying it, and
Now, again, because I knew, I had a feeling you were going to talk about this, but I don't know the intricacies. But I forget where I heard this. That is it kind of stated like they're trying to create this relationship, like he was put in there for the drama, like it's a plant, put it that way,
right, to be relevant. Yeah, because they both hang in
On
a
his part, but I think Sheree is really feels like it's a relationship.
Do you think so?
You think so?
I mean, after dating the ex-con and I don't know.
Yeah.
Possibly take a guy like that seriously though. I think we should talk
Ask
about
the baby mama.
Ray.
Say that, Nicole.
Ask the baby mama.
Right.
So,
And
Who
then,
was fighting with Sheree?
right. And then what could possibly make it serious is that, like, Antrice was getting to, like, so after the party argument, right? Because, they're getting back and forth. And then, Kenya's like offended about how aggressive he's being, which is, that's the word she used, aggressive.
You started it, like, come on
Yes,
now. But
she
anyway.
Yes, she did.
And that was Sheree's argument, because so Kenya went to her friend Sheree and said, hey, he shouldn't be talking to me like this, that's aggressive.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not a fan of Kenya. Sorry, but
Poor
My thing is, at the
delicate-
end of the day, is I'm sorry, Nicole. I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I was just saying, poor Kenya's delicate little ears.
so
Right.
Michelle, you were gonna say something?
I don't watch the show,
Mm-hmm.
but I have just a foundational question. So Kenya and Sheree, they're friends, and so Kenya's bringing this up just to kind of, hey,
say
you're
they're
my
frenemies.
friend.
Okay, what's the benefit of that?
I
thank
think
you,
they're-
thank you,
Yeah.
Michelle.
So I don't think they have a solid friendship because their friendship has been on again, like
It's been
on,
very
off.
flippant.
They couldn't stand each other at
They
one
are
point.
housewife friendships.
And then when Sheree came, because Sheree left the show for a minute, and then she came back on the show, and all of a sudden they were best friends, over at each other's houses when they was feuding, calling each other's names, talking about each other's houses, saying they couldn't pay for their house, or my house looked better than yours, your house ain't finished, this and that. So I don't think they have a real friendship. So Kenya claims, I brought this up because I don't want you hearing it from anybody else.
Can
But
you tell me in my ear?
Open your DM.
right, exactly.
Thank you. Could you tell me in my ear?
And you didn't tell me. Remember when they were on the reunion and Martel called Sheree the reunion for last season, and Kenya was all, oh, hi Martel, blah blah blah. Like, you knew something then. You couldn't pull her aside then.
Right.
So that's what's kind of iffy on these housewives shows. People being like, I'm coming to you as a friend, but why are you coming to me when the camera's on? When this is something that happened.
Coming to me as a
2
friend
years
when
ago or
4 million viewers are watching. Can
Right.
you tell me in my ear?
Ratings, ladies, ratings.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
After
And-
2 years, what difference did it make? He
Right,
wasn't saying
exactly.
it made no difference. Candy even said that to her. And she did know that it was 2 years old, because I believe she said that in the conversation with Candy and her friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Kenya will twist the story.
So it was like from
we hope we cleared that up for you, Michelle.
What purpose?
right. No real purpose, too much.
Yeah.
And, so Kenya's trying to make Sheree, but like, you should be defending me. I'm your friend, blah, blah, blah. You shouldn't be letting him talk to me like that. And Sheree's defending herself like, well, you came to him, like you guys said. Is he not supposed to defend himself, blah, blah, blah. And Kenya was saying, well, if he's talking to me like this, he's going to eventually talk to you like that. Okay.
You know what's crazy with Sheree, and they kind of pointed this out because who was it? Sonya's husband, Kenya, last season, Sonya's husband was upset with Kenya because she was arguing with his wife, and he said something like, "Don't talk to my effing wife like that" or something.
Yeah,
say what?
He stood up and said it.
Yeah, he stood up and said it. And then in this point, when she was arguing with Montel, which we said, is his name Montel? Martell, thank you. She started it, and he stood up and said a curse word, or I don't care if I was trying to F you or blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, these men are so aggressive. They're cussing at me. And I'm like, okay, yes, they're using cuss words, but they're not calling you a name.
Thank you.
They're not, like, let's not throw out that false accusation that they're so aggressive. Like, you're
playing the victim.
Right.
You started it, coming at them.
It's like you throw a rock in a pond and then you wait for the ripples to go, and then it's like, oh my gosh, did I do that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, she does have
She's clutching her pearls.
You hit somebody and you get upset when they hit you back.
Right.
So
let me
ask the divas a question. If you and your man were in a public situation like that at a party, and one of your friends, let's call them friends, said something to your man that was disrespectful or whatever, how would you expect your man? How would you want your man to respond? Would you want him to go back and forth, or would you want him to let it go?
I don't think I want him to go back and forth, because that's just
let it go. Be bigger than that. And if you want to have a conversation, let's take this somewhere else.
This
where
is
it's
the
three
whole
of
Will
us.
Smith thing,
Right.
We want this all out there and everybody hearing and all.
Well, not even just out there, because I mean, yes, you're gonna have drama for the show, but the drama should be between the women. It should not be between the men, the men and the women.
To the point where a man gotta go back and forth with a woman like that sometimes, like it's not necessary.
Not cute.
It's not. It's not. First of all,
I would lose respect for him. I lose respect looking at him, just like you let her push your buttons, and why? Like to that point, like, say what you gotta say and then walk away. Like, it ain't even worth it. And then
have some decorum about it and be a bigger person. You can still state your fact and just keep it moving. Like, I'm not gonna entertain you.
Yeah, if she was just speaking to him normally, she was not. She deserved everything she got. And I would have looked at my man and said, what's wrong with you? And especially if someone's saying something to me, as in the runner's husband, I can't think of her name.
Oh yeah, Sonya.
I expect you to stand up for me.
I was gonna say that I understood, because she upset Sonya, and he just said don't speak to her that way. Right. But this whole bickering of
inappropriate. I felt like Martell and Kenya had matching energy. So I didn't feel like Martell stepped out of line with Kenya.
I don't know.
Sonya's husband, I was uncomfortable with what he did, because the women were talking. He had nothing to do with the conversation. And he just stood up and said, y'all ain't gonna come at my effing wife this way. Like, I was like, dude, like, this is their job.
Well, she was being ganged upon, so I would want my defense.
This is what they're getting paid for.
This is their actual job. They're working.
Conflict is the job.
See, I'm the opposite. I was okay with Sonya's husband, but Montel, it's kind of goes back to you're the man, like you bickering. You're sitting here bickering at a party. Well, you're gonna answer all the DMs. You're gonna answer all the DMs. I'd have been like, let's go.
Yeah. I just feel like Martell was putting 10 on 5 to get the camera attention. You know what I mean? Like, he's trying to be the star of RHOA to be asked back or something like that. You know what I mean?
I think he's trying to
fly sexy.
Get in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
Well, then the same thing goes for him too. That's his job. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
She's got a
clearly Nicole is not a
paying Martell.
I don't care who you are. I think everybody's allowed to defend themselves. No, he didn't lay hands on her, but you're not going to talk to me any kind of way. I don't care if I'm a man, woman, I don't care what I am. You're not going to talk to me crazy and not get talked to you crazy back. Period.
Right. So if this was you guys, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to answer on Teresa's question, I would expect him, because she confronted him in such a public manner, right, that he could defend himself, but sort of also take the higher ground and say, look, I don't agree with what you're saying. I have a different recollection of what happened, but this is not something that I want, it's not for everyone to, to be privy to. So let's just, table this or talk on the side, but at least defend yourself publicly, because he was accused publicly.
Yeah.
Kenya was messed. I mean, not that I watched the show,
He
but that
was
just sounds
goading.
messy. Like, what was the purpose? Like,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know, if
exactly.
it was 6 months versus 2 years, 2 years ago,
Right.
and even if it was 6 months, I don't know if they were dating 6 months ago. Still, is it relevant?
Yeah, you didn't respond to it. Nothing happened. So what?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
You
Like,
didn't even
I was like,
see
what?
it. You didn't even know what it was.
You don't even know what he said, and that's why I said I guess
So true.
that's why I said, what was her purpose of even bringing it up? She did that intentionally to start something. It wasn't
Yeah.
just a, that's what I
And
said,
she
it wasn't.
always does something like that at
Well,
the
yeah.
beginning of.
And she was doing it to embarrass Sheree.
Yeah. She did make a
But to
comment
me, that
earlier
should
in the
make
night.
her look
So
petty
she-
and like.
So she made her check, so she was
She
worthy
did
of
her
getting
job.
a paycheck.
Yeah.
But
She
if you
gave
had a friend like
The
Kenya,
drama, right?
right. So to piggyback off of what Teresa's question was, so if you, after your friend may have confronted your boo, what would you say to your friend in private afterwards? Would you be
That's not
defending
your- that's
man,
not your
or would you be
friend.
like, girl, you need to stop?
Yeah, I was like,
That's the
That's
boundary.
not my
depends on
friend.
if they
She's not
really
my friend.
Yeah.
I'll be like, you're not my friend,
Mm-hmm.
because my friend's not gonna do that.
It's always, if my man offended you, we're sorry. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It costs nothing to say, look,
Mhm.
maybe he
Thank
went
you.
too far. It won't happen again.
Yeah.
What else is going on, girl?
Right.
Right.
Well, that's what I say, but I don't think she's her friend the way it came out. But yeah, I mean, let's keep
Yeah.
it
Or maybe
moving.
she just doesn't like Martell, and so she's just looking for stuff to give ammo to like break with this dude because of this. You know what I mean? Like maybe that could be it.
Or
Yeah,
she
she just
doesn't want
trying
to
to-
see
she
a
just
friend
being
happy.
Kenya.
Mhm.
Trying to sprinkle a little doubt and little issues in there.
Yeah.
This is only episode 2. She working for episode 10. That's
right.
Look,
He's
she's
thinking
solidifying her
He's trying
spot
to make sure
for the
he's still
next
relevant in
season.
episode 10 too.
Mhm.
Look, she's solidifying her spot in her next season. Making sure she ain't getting axed.
All right, y'all. Let us know what you guys think as well. Do you agree with Kenya? Do you agree with Sheree? Do you agree with Martell? Like, let us know down in the comments below.
Martell has his fans now, from what I understand.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
And do you even care?
Right. That part.
Just saying.
Let us know. But you catch that next episode. We may talk about it next week as well. So, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. See you next time.